and happy Monday morning to you. I am here with Christie Love on June 7th, 2024. She's an award-winning international speaker and communication and connection expert and a member of the LEAP community. And as you know, every Monday, we bring another member of the community forward to spotlight them, to give them visibility, because the two rules in business that I live by every single day is you've got to tell everybody about you and build long-lasting relationships. And through that, I've built all my businesses. So Christie Love, welcome to the show.
Hi, Colleen. I missed you. I've been so busy speaking and training. It's been a busy last few months. And I'm like, I miss Colleen. So glad to be here. Thanks again.
Oh, yeah. I hear it. I love it when people say, I'm so sorry, I'm so busy, I haven't been able to get to things or show up at an event. And I'm like, aren't we blessed to be busy? And I
Yes.
think that's important for us to remember. I never take it personal. I'm always like, see you when I see you, because the goal of being in the LEAP community is to give you the visibility so that you are busy, so that you do have a lot of clients, so that you are out there doing what you love every single day and making that big impact. And I know, Christie, you are helping others transform their lives by mastering the art of communication. Can we dive into a little bit about what does that mean to you to master the art of communication and how you work with your clients on that?
Absolutely. Well, this is my passion. This is seriously my passion because I remember at the time when I didn't have communication skills and how my life was. I remember working toward climbing the corporate ladder as a new leader, manager, and I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the skills to communicate. And I didn't know until I was put in that position that I lacked so much. And even though I had the degrees, the background experience, I couldn't lead. I couldn't develop the communications and connections that I needed to really elevate my career. And so that's what led me into learning and mastering the art of communication, but also helping my clients, because it's transformed my life. And I love to see my clients' lives transformed by using this valuable skill that we all should develop. And so so many things have happened to people I've worked with, and it's just amazing to see their transformation, their life experience. That one client who told me, it's like, wow, coach, prior to working with me, he was homeless. He had a wife, two children, and while working with us, he got a contract, actually, contracts with major corporations, and also hired as a director of a major university and as a leadership director. And so things change in a positive way, and I love seeing those transformations in others.
Yeah. So you and I were just talking about why most speakers don't get paid to speak. And so you work with individuals in helping them get paid to speak and understand how to communicate well from the stage. Do you want to share a little bit about that? I know we have links here and they'll all have access to those at their fingertips, but I would love for you to share a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So, everybody is a speaker, right? There's a ton of speakers out there. However, not many people have created a business around it. And when I learned that there's over 15 different business speaker models, not just getting on stage and receiving a check, there's so much more that you can do in a realm of speaking. That's when my life really expanded. And that's when I teach my clients as well. There's a lot of corporations, a lot of agencies that hire speakers to speak or do workshops or trainings, all of that speaking. And so when you have a system in place and position yourself as an expert, because event planning and meeting planners know the difference between an amateur and an expert. But when you have everything together, your branding, your positioning, who you are, your messaging, all of that packaged tightly in a way to present to major corporations who have a budget to hire you to speak, that's when you get paid to speak. And that's what I teach my clients how to do.
That's it right there. That's exactly what that's the key to all of it. So you either look the part, meaning you've got yourself all together. So your brand looks like your brand. You've got all of the speaking sheets that are very clearly defined on what you speak on, maybe what you have as far as assets of books or workshops or shows, podcasts. It's very clear to put yourself out there as an expert, and I think that's the number one thing, really. You you can really mess it up by, even though you're an amazing speaker from stage and other people have found you word of mouth and put you on stages, but if you don't have that package together, you're not going to be able to continue getting those leads. It's really all about packaging yourself as a brand. That's why I push visibility so hard with people and say, I looked you up on Google and I can barely find you anywhere. If I can't find you, nobody else can find you. And that's like your resume. Your resume is out there for people to see, like your body of work and the things that you do. You also get to see who you collaborate with, the companies you've collaborated with, the people you've collaborated with. And I think that says a lot about your character and who you are and who you play with. Did you want to speak to that at all, Christy?
Absolutely. I think the mistake that a lot of speakers make is, oh, I'm a speaker, right? I speak about anything. And you're all over the place. You have no structure, right? No positioning. They don't know how to hire you. But when you have the positioning in place, they can easily hire you. They know what to pay for. And also, you stand for something. You stand for something, and you have consistency. You talked about Google. It's a funny thing. My name, Christie Love, I was actually named after a movie star. It's a show called Get Christie Love, and so I've been competing against her to get the top spot on Google. And it's been a journey, right? But yes, you have to be searchable. There's not a week that goes by that someone does not come to me and say, Christie, I've researched you extensively, and you're the real deal. It's because I've been consistent for many, many,
Mhm.
many years, talking about
Yeah.
the same thing, of course, expanding and over time, but
Yep.
the message is the same.
I think it's important also to think about the things that we do. You have Win Win Women TV, and we're going to talk about that in a second. I have the podcast, Take the Leap, that I utilize with my community, and I interview other experts on that podcast about how to design your life. I have had individuals reach out to me that work for a large company and say, I found your podcast and I've been listening to you for months. And when my company was looking for a speaker, I thought of you and immediately put your name in and then they reached out to me and said, we have a conference coming up and we'd love for you to be our keynote speaker. So I think all platforms are important. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Win Win Women TV and why you started that and what that is all about?
Yes, well, it's so important. I first started my podcast, but then I was looking for something to really elevate myself and really help me to stand out from the crowd. And so I was actually speaking in Mexico, and a lady met me who was one of the founding leaders of Win Win Women. And they asked me to audition, hired me on the spot to be one of their show hosts, founding show hosts. And so I've been with them for 3 years now. The idea here is to gain consistency. Consistency. At the beginning, you may feel like, hey, nobody's listening to me. It's crickets out there. But if you remain consistent over time, people are going to find you. I'm at, I think, 160 something episodes now, right, of my podcast and TV show. And now, traction has been coming and people have been finding me. And so it's about being consistent and having your own show that's going to gain visibility. So those two things, gaining visibility and also consistency.
Yeah, and you have a Be Seen, Be Loved TV, and, I love that our brands are so aligned with each other because everything about my brand is being able to be seen and for you to, get out there. My whole brand is Be You, Be Strong, the visibility of the LEAP community. You've got to be seen. If you're, I don't know how else to put this other than if no one knows you exist, you don't really exist to them. How many times have you been introduced to someone and you didn't know they existed at all? And then all of a sudden they come into your life and you learn more about them and you're like, crap, this person's everywhere. How did I not see any of that? And then you start seeing, then now you're seeing them in all the things they do. And you're like, I was in this world that didn't have them in it, yet they're massively huge in what they're doing. That's how big the world is, right? That's how big. Like sometimes the world can be really small and we can meet people and be like, oh, I know that person, this person, that. Wow, the world is so small. And then other times it feels so large because there's people out there just making massive movements and massive waves. And yet we hadn't been introduced to them yet. And so I think it's very important to be consistent, like you say, and not give up. Don't you think people give up a little too early, Christy?
Oh, absolutely. And it's tough. It's tough. My beginning stages were, wow, a huge challenge, but it was my circle of influence and the people that I'm associated with who helped push me forward. They held me accountable to saying what I wanted to do. They had a bigger vision for me than I did for myself at that time. And I needed that community. That community, I'm still connected to that community today. And so your community of supporters is going to be very important, especially during this time of growth and as time of stepping out of your shell as well. And you mentioned, Colleen, about those people that we don't see that are actually everywhere. You're one of those people. I met Colleen at one of the networking groups. Someone was referred her to me, and now I see Colleen everywhere. I'm like, where's this amazing lady? She's been all over the place, and I didn't know it. So you are a prime example of that. Yes.
Oh, that's so funny. And I have to say how important it is to get yourself out there. So many people, they try it for a little while and then they get frustrated, Christy, and they're like, it's not doing me any good. I'm like, it is doing so much. You have no idea. I don't think we realize the ripple effect. The best visual is standing at the end of a lake, maybe on a morning that's beautiful and calm and the water looks like ice, right? It's just like beautiful and there's just no movement in the water, and you throw in a stone and that stone ripples. Now that stone's going to ripple far beyond what your eyes can see in the water. And I believe that's the impact that we make. It's far beyond what our eyes can see visually on the impacts that we make. And I am always feeling that things are moving. And every time we put it out in the universe, right, things are moving and moving toward us and shifting and changing based on what we believe, what we desire, all of those pieces. So I think it's so important for us to believe in ourselves, to be seen, to feel loved, right? To be loved, to love others, to feel loved. Community is key. You said that. We need mentors. We need people around us to guide us, to be there for us. I think that is so crucial. Community is everything. I was doing an exercise book this morning, and I was supposed to write down 10 gratitudes. And the very first thing I wrote down were the people in my life. Like the people in my lives are really what causes me to want to get up, to do the things I do, to be the person I am. And it's because I'm fueled. Do you have certain people around you that you want to give props to, or that in your life without those individuals, you wouldn't be who you are today, or
Oh,
be where you are today?
so many different people. My business partner, Diane Bowdery, I have a group, 365 Driven. They were with me from the beginning, Those days where I said, I am going to quit. And I'm so glad I didn't, because and now I feel my purpose. I feel when I train and I pour into people and they pour back into me now. It's just, and I see these transformations. I just feel so fulfilled. 365 Driven, my coaches, mentors, I've had many along the way. Investing in yourself is vitally important during this time. You should always have a coach. Colleen, you have coaches now?
I have so many, right? Nutrition coach,
Yes.
health coaches, financial coaches, business coaches. Now I have a franchise coach, because we're launching a franchise. And so I've got coaches in every area, of franchising now. And I think it's so important. I have been in franchising for almost 20 years, Christy. And the first thing I did was go out and work and hire a company for a lot of money, almost, six figures to build this franchise with us. Could I have done it on my own? Probably. But I really believe that when you work with another company, it's better, it's faster, it's stronger, and it's a better foundation. So I do think it's important. I have tons of mentors and coaches around me all the time for the work that I need to do on myself to become a better person every day.
Right, to work at the level that you need to
Yeah.
work to be able to
Yeah.
fuel and pour into so many different people. It's not about just the business part, it's about you. So like you said,
Yeah.
I'm a nutrition, coach,
Yeah.
exercise coach. I mean, spiritual coaches. I mean, it's so much that we have to
Mhm.
do. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to start a business. It's going to be, it's going to just blast off. No, there's a lot of things that we need to do, especially as speakers, right?
Yeah.
Have the energy to be able to do what we do. I was just doing a week-long training. I mean, week-long training, people came out to be trained. I mean, that takes a lot of energy to stand, right, for 10 hours a day
Yeah.
and teach and coach and do activities and all these fun games as well as preparing everything. And so my physical energy is very important. My vitality is very important, right?
Yeah.
Things that make me happy because they see that as well. They see that through your eyes.
So
And
we've got a few links here. The beseenbeloved.com. Where are they going to see when they go to that website?
all right, go to that website. That's all about me. It's all about my brand, how I can help you to transform your life through public speaking. And I also have a free book here, why most speakers don't get paid to speak and how you can. So if you want to become a paid speaker, learn about the things that we talked about, how to position yourself as an expert who
Right.
is now ready to receive those fat paychecks as a speaker and transform your life and your business. Check that out. And also, you can find me on winwinwomen.tv. That's a global women's advancement network. I'm on the communication and connection channel. If you want to learn more about communication, go there. I give a lot of tips and
Oh my
strategies.
gosh.
Wow.
You're amazing, Christy. With all that you're doing, you're one of those people, again, that when I met, same thing. You're out there, you're doing amazing work. I love to see you post. Wow, I've already got 45 paid speaking gigs booked for the year. I love to see that because so many women will comment and be like, how did you do that? What
You know,
are you
I was
doing?
one of those people too. I was. I'm like,
Number one thing.
oh my God,
Yes.
what?
And that I love that. She posts that because she's proud of herself, and she's also posting that because she knows other women are gonna say, "I wanna do that too. How did you do it?" And Christy's the one that she knows she can teach them. So, thank you all for joining us today. Christy, thank you for being an amazing member of the LEAP community. We love having you around, and we wanna spotlight you more. So
Yeah.
make sure you book all your spotlights to do your podcast and your master classes and all the things that you get to do within this community. And we want to thank all of you for joining us today. And don't forget, go crush it in business this week and be you and be strong. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.